Okay, Michael, thanks so much for joining us for our episode tonight of On the Sofa. You are the Managing Director at Highland Experience. So I thought just to get things started, you could tell us a bit about Highland Experience, the story behind it, and sort of how it started.
Delighted. Thank you very much for having me. I started the company in 2005, based out of a passion I have for showing people the Highlands. I'm from the Highlands. I grew up on the shores of Loch Ness, and most of the visitors at the time I started the company would come into the central belt of Scotland, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and I was really looking to show them an authentic tour of Scotland rather than what I felt was on offer at the time. Started with one bus and one tour, and it's grown ever since.
That's amazing. So how many buses now?
Well, up until the pandemic, we were just under 30.
Wow.
Ranging in size, and that was depending on the tour.
Yeah. And could you just quickly tell us a little bit about your role currently, and what you enjoy the most about the job too?
Yeah, of course. I have a passion for the north of Scotland, and what I particularly enjoy is I'm very proud of where I come from. It's not work to me taking people from the central belt of Scotland up to the north of Scotland and exploring all over. Not only have we got terrific natural and breathtaking scenery, but we also have terrific history. And I take a lot of pleasure in showcasing what the Highlands has to offer.
That's brilliant. So then, if someone or a group are thinking of approaching the company about organising an experience, what can they expect sort of on initial sort of contact?
So there's two types of offer that we have. One would be a custom private tour. The other would be a scheduled tour. We have a broad range of scheduled tours. These were originally designed by me, and then over the years I've always looked for guide feedback and they've been guide led, and that's how we've refined them. So ranging from 1 day trips to 8 day trips. There's not really a corner of Scotland we don't cover on the scheduled tours. Private tours, if you were a group and you didn't wish to follow one of our scheduled tours, perhaps you're a larger group and you wanted to do it your own way, then we can cater for both sides. If you're coming for a scheduled tour, you can book online directly with us, and we'd be delighted to have you. If you wanted a custom tour, you would get in touch with one of our experienced team, Claire or Fiona, and they would go step by step and make sure that everything to the finest detail is nailed down, and because ultimately we want you to go away having had a fantastic experience of Scotland.
Yeah, well, that's amazing. And do you find do you get a lot of requests for like sort of bespoke custom tours? Yeah,
absolutely, and it seems to be a growth area. It'll be interesting to see after this pandemic we've had, whether it becomes something people are looking more to do, given aspects around social distancing. We've certainly had lots of inquiries. We have seen a growth in custom private area over the years, ranging from small groups of 2 people up to school groups, reaching much larger numbers. But ultimately, they all start the same. It's all a specific request, and then we sort of take it from there. Yes, it's a growth market, and we're delighted to do it. And the guides really enjoy it because it can be something different. We've got people who have ancestral links to Scotland, who want to go right to where their historical links lie, all the way to photography tours, choir tours. Very varied.
So yeah, a huge selection. Because I guess we find here with customers, because we weave so many tartans and they're linked to family names, clans. Yeah, some customers want the full history and to try and find a bit about their heritage, whereas some people are maybe just more sort of interested in, I guess, the design, or if it's for a specific occasion. So I guess just being able to sort of offer as broad a service as possible. Like you say, I guess gives people the most relevant experience for them, which is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Scotland's for all.
Indeed.
I think this is the key point. And historically, many people are interested in the history around the clans, the tartans, and even if they don't belong to one, it's a very fascinating backstory. And wherever you go in the Highlands, there's a story. And I think people are interested in that.
Yeah, and I think even it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're visiting out with Scotland to be interested in that, because I think even in the time that I've been working here, I've learned certain things that I didn't know, and I've lived in Scotland all my life. So I guess off the back of what you say about sort of with COVID and sort of certain regulations, that's something that's probably at the forefront of your mind as well. But people that are more local, there's sort of lots to offer, isn't there?
Absolutely. Having guided recently, I've noticed the custom base is predominantly more local. So it could be people from the south of England who are coming to explore their backyard. And I think the feedback I received is, my goodness, I had no idea Scotland had so much to offer, and it's fascinating. We'd like to come back, and we'd like to explore more. We find people come on our tours and identify a particular area that they've sort of touched on with us, and they'd love to know, can we come back and do a further tour with you, or perhaps they'd like to get some information and go off on their own. But I think once people know what we have up here, it really opens their eyes, and it's a huge adventure.
Oh, definitely. And I guess, as like I say, even like I've been to various parts of Scotland, but there's so many parts that is still yet to visit. So I think definitely a good time for more local people, certainly, to sort of see what's sort of on their doorstep, certainly. So I guess we were talking about your tour guides. Do you want to tell us a bit about them? I mean, how do they operate? Do they sort of specialise in specific tours, or do they in specific areas in Scotland?
So I'm very proud of the team we have. I think we have some terrific tour guides, very passionate about what they do. They really take care of our customers. I think at the core, like me, they share the passion to showcase the very best experience that they can. What we find is the guides are individuals, and that's just how we want them. So they have specific areas of history that they'll be particularly interested in. There might be specific areas within Scotland that they particularly like going to. But we like to give the guides as much artistic license as possible within the scheduled tours. Clearly there are stops that we like to make, and then we let the guides very much do it their way. But I think ultimately we're just looking for passionate, enthusiastic guides who are able to do all our tours, because the market, lots and lots of tours will go to Loch Ness, the big ticket items, or Skye. But of course, Scotland is lots more than just Loch Ness and Skye. We would like, perhaps people will come in the first instance to these sort of more mainstream areas, but eventually we'd like to show other parts of the country. And then our guys have the experience to draw on to be able to take customers not only on the sort of more popular tours, but the tours that perhaps offer more time off the bus, more space, slightly different experience for the more adventurous.
Yeah. And that's like you say, I guess, I think if you're saying that the guides, they have an invested sort of enthusiasm, interest, passion for it, that kind of thing's infectious. So if people are there, and like you say, their initial trip, I'm sure that encourages people or inspires people to want to then sort of visit other parts of Scotland.
Absolutely. I think that it's, we can provide the vehicles and the tours, but really what brings the experience alive is the tour guide. You can't, hopefully you can never replicate that. We have many characters, and I think the feedback would probably show that. And I don't want anyone to do it my way. I want them to do it their way.
Their way,
But obviously, if we're going through an area of particular historical importance, I want them to be able to tell the story. Let's get the facts straight, but let's, we're not looking to lecture people, but I'd like the guides to be able to draw on their expertise, depending on the audience. If they're particularly into a particular area of history, I think the guide should be able to deliver. If it's a beautiful day and the tour wants to stop and get out, enjoy this wonderful scenery that we have, well, let's do that also. So I think I'd like to provide a varied tour, and one that's not, sort of, to use a term, cookie cutter, looking for something, special every time.
Yeah, and I think you say a much more memorable experience, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, we have an overnight tour that goes up to Loch Ness, and Fort Augustus is where our small guest house is, 12 bedrooms, Loch Ness guest house, beautiful. And, I wanted to deliver how it was when I grew up, a log fire as you walk in, handmade soap down the road, the butcher delivers the breakfast. It's these kind of touches that I think you don't get elsewhere. And, certainly when I've been promoting the business abroad, this is very much what people expect when they get here.
Yeah.
And that's what we'd like to deliver, authentic experiences.
Fantastic. It sounds amazing. And sure, so obviously you may know we're quite passionate about tartan here at ScotlandShop.
Absolutely.
As well as Scotland. So the tour guides, do they have like a uniform? Do they wear tartan, or are they how?
The guides at the moment all wear kilts. It's not mandatory. We find that most like to. I certainly do. Certainly the guides at the moment do. We found over the years some are more comfortable wearing kilts. It's entirely up to the guide. We haven't mandated anything.
No.
But we find in the main, voluntarily, who wouldn't want to wear a kilt?
Well, exactly, yeah. And do they just pick? So they'll maybe wear, So would they just pick their own tartan as well? It's just it's their kilt.
Well, I think in the main they've got ties to the tartan. Obviously I wear my own clan, and having spoken to the guides, they tend to try and stick to their own tartans. Because obviously that's part of the story. That's part of their story, and really customers are quite interested in the individual, not just the tour, and that's part of the individual. I think it's something that they'll weave into their tour. Excuse the pun.
Very nice, very well done. I also, because I've been having a look, had a look on your website, and I see that also that there are another great thing about Scotland, whisky experiences. And so I guess how did you come up with that? Because see that you've got quite a few. Why you've got to doing that as a sort of separate, as a separate experience?
Absolutely right. We've noticed that over the years we have people that are particularly interested in our national drink, and Scottish Roots started out life as a smaller tour company on its own, and it was born out of a guide that I knew when we started. When I started Highland Experience, he had started Scottish Roots. He had a particular passion for whisky, and he said, "Look, I'd like to start a whisky-only tours." So we worked together. Eventually, he met a girl on one of the tours, and he moved to the States and still promotes whisky to this day. I took on Scottish Roots from there.
Okay.
And it's grown and grown. I would suggest that it's the go-to whisky tour company in the country. We offer a 4-day tour to Islay, for example, which is hugely popular. It has an enormous amount of distilleries it stops at, and it is tailored directly to whisky enthusiasts, but it's not just for whisky enthusiasts.
Because I guess you could, it could be, not like you say, it doesn't have to be someone that's just specifically whiskey only. It could be mixed in with some other things.
Absolutely. We get lots of, sort of groups, and it might be that some of them particular whisky drinkers, but actually some really want to know about the history of Islay. They want to go to the beaches, or, because Islay's not just whisky. Obviously, that's a major contributory factor, but
Oh, that's brilliant. I'll jump back a wee bit because I wanted to ask, which I saw that you'd been awarded a Gold Green Tourism Business Award. I don't know what that is, and I think some other people might be interested to know what that is. So I just thought I'd ask what that means.
Yeah, it's the attitude towards how you run your tour company. You know, we would, being a boy from Highlands, I think my passion at the core has always been to give back to the locals. You know, I wanted to bring people from the Central Belt, but I didn't want to do that to the detriment of the environment. And so really every step of the way, I think we're under an obligation, not only to deliver financially for the communities, but also to deliver environmentally to the communities. So wherever we can, we will look to, you know, eliminate our carbon footprint.
Yeah.
We have various groves that we sponsor. Every step of the journey, trying to, you know, be environmentally responsible, and you're graded as to how you do that. And gold being the best, and that's where we're at according to Green Tourism Business.
Well, that sounds pretty good. If you've got gold,
we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah,
and something you're always looking to improve on. You know, I think wherever you can innovate. You know, I think that pandemic may show that people maybe don't fly as much into the country. They may come here by train, and you know, when they get on one of our vehicles, we want to make sure that you know, we're trying to keep that going.
Yeah. And I guess you've mentioned the jolly word of pandemic, and yes, it's been an interesting year and a half almost. So how, I guess, I mean, it's been, you know, it's affected all businesses. How have you found it? And I guess, is there anything you've obviously had? There's probably had to have been changes taking place in the past sort of 15 months. I guess maybe just tell us a bit about what you've had to do, and if there's anything that you sort of think actually we're going to carry this forward as well. Yeah,
it's been extremely challenging. It's really affected many walks of life, and ours also. We haven't been able to, you know, bring people and take people into Scotland, which is a great shame because it's the great outdoors. You know, we're very passionate about what we do. We'd love to be able to be out and showing people Scotland. We haven't been able to. That's a frustration. We've obviously taken advantage of any governmental support out there, be it furlough grants, but nothing beats trading. That's what we want to do. That's where our passion lies. We've had to downsize as a company. We have had the opportunity. I've been growing the company since 2005. And I can't think of a day I've ever stopped, really, and taken a step back and said, actually, can we do anything really differently? And so it's given me and my team the opportunity to look at the way we operate. We have made changes. We'd like to think the way you can book online is much more straightforward now. You know, we're always looking at how we deliver to the customer, the customer experience, and that's been a major change. We have found over the years that the online travel agents have grown, you know, in their market share, and it's something that we want to work with them more, do some joint promotion work. But wherever we can refine the experiences, we've looked at our entire program, and we've looked to see, are there areas that perhaps could be better? Are there stops that could be better? Are we happy with the individual businesses? Do they share the same ideals as us? So we've looked across the board, and I would like to think that when we come out of this pandemic, that we have even more refined quality experience.
Yeah, and I suppose that's one of the things that the time has allowed, isn't it? Like you say, to sort of have a look over what's currently being delivered, and if you can tweak it at all, then I guess making use of that time.
Well, I'd like to hope we're never going to have this opportunity again. But now that we've had it, let's try and turn everything to a positive. And the positive that comes out of it is we've had time to look at this, and this should deliver a better quality product going forward.
Yeah, exactly. We did something similar just at the Edinburgh shop, where our measuring experiences, which is something that we, during the time that the shop was closed, we just looked at, scrutinised, and we've developed them so that they're an all round better experience for customers. So I guess it's just
Everybody approaches things differently. I would have thought it's an opportunity. If you don't take advantage of these opportunities, you can't. If you don't look at things, how can you expect things to be different? And so that's we don't ever think we're the finished article. And again, we brought the guides on the journey. We've brought the management team on the journey. We're all working together on it. And I think at the core, all the changes we're making are delivered by the team, not just me. And so I think everyone buys into it.
Brilliant. I actually heard that you had been hosting some tours more recently as well.
I have. Yeah. Well, I haven't lost my passion. I love getting behind the wheel, and I love getting up into the Highlands.
Yeah.
Showing, all the various spots that we have to offer. And it's brought to me how much we've got to offer, and how much I enjoy seeing happy customers.
Yeah.
And it's a tour for all. We've had families, we've had people who were based in Britain from abroad that had always traditionally gone home, and they've said, actually, we can't go home, so let's go north. And they said, my goodness, we're coming back next year with our family, and they're like to come over. And it's this dynamic. It's a change dynamic, but it doesn't take away from the core that people want to come up here, and once they know what's here, predominantly they want to come back. I personally take a lot of personal satisfaction from that.
Oh, that's great. And so yourself, is there a specific part of Scotland that you like the most, or is that a very stupid question to ask?
There are many, many parts. I personally, in mainland Scotland, find Rannochmoor, Glencoe absolutely stunning. I really enjoy being up there. I try, you can't take them right now, but down Glenetted I always find there's a cracking spot. But wherever you go, there are beautiful spots, even within popular areas in Loch Ness, for example.
Yeah.
I think Fort Augustus is a lovely village. If you don't particularly like boat trips, for example, you've got a lovely village that has the Caledonian staircase. You can watch boats come and go in a beautiful village, in a beautiful setting. You can have your lunch on the steps by the canal. Wonderful. If you're a bit more adventurous, you can head up onto the islands. And there's some lovely walks to do there. And I have to say, I think one of the misconceptions are, do you need to be a strong walker? Do you need to go hill climbing? Our groups are generally smaller in nature, so the guides have the time to be able to. If you've got a group that's particularly able, want to do lots of hill walking, we can do that. Alternatively, if you've got a group that some like hill walking, some maybe don't like it so much, well, the tour guide will find maybe a nice spot that somebody can have a tea or a coffee, overlook the scenery, and the other group can go for the hill walk and come back. That's the beauty of small group touring, and it's very individual, personalised.
That's brilliant. And I get, what do you love the most about Scotland then? If it was like sort of one thing.
I think we're the warmest people. I just think Highland hospitality. It never ceases to amaze me how welcoming people can be in the north of Scotland. And then, at the core, we want to see people. And when they come up to the Highlands, I think generally we're very proud to be from Highland Scotland, and we want to welcome people. And the more I go north, the more I realise we're a welcoming nation. So I'm very proud to be, a hospitable Scot.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. And is there? This is maybe a controversial question. Is there anywhere in Scotland you've not visited that you think I'd still like to go to, or are you done? Have you been?
There's not many spots I don't know now, I have to say. I do think if you're asking me other areas of Scotland that I think are a little bit undiscovered, perhaps not on the main tourism route. I always think the southwest and the northeast are two areas that don't get the main body of traffic and have some wonderful spots. I think down Dumfries Galley is absolutely beautiful and lots of to do down there. Also the northeast towards Braemar, Speyside. Okay, you get the whisky traffic, but going further north, there's some really lovely spots up there as well. They're, the saying in the tourism, sort of tour operating industry, west is best. I'm not sure. I think the east has got some lovely spots too. So I think there's more we can do. Obviously, there's topically the North Coast 500. That's absolutely beautiful. I hope the infrastructure is going to arrive to deal with the numbers that are heading that way.
Yeah.
But constant innovation and anything that draws people to this country, we'd like to think if they've been to one spot, there's more to offer, and those are two areas I would suggest they could explore.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. A bit of insight of some sort of, like you say, more sort of not undiscovered, but maybe it's not as highly known or highly visited. So hopefully our viewers will be inspired to get in touch.
Let's hope so. Well, if they get in touch, we'd be delighted to work with them. Be on the main scheduled tours, or if they wanted to do a custom tour to one of those areas I've mentioned, delighted to do so.
It sounds great, and we'll be sure that that the website, the address is up, so that again, if anyone wants to get in touch and contact you about it, then they can do. I guess a last question, which is a bit more relevant to us, but yes, to ask you about tartan. So I mean, when you're doing tours, do you wear a kilt, or do you?
I do.
Yeah, you do. Brilliant. And do you celebrate sort of Scottish heritage at all? Or
absolutely, I mean, I wear the Cameron tartan. Several generations going back. On my mother's side, there's 5 girls from Skye, and that's why I wear the tartan, as will my children, as hopefully will their children. That's the history I have in mind. Clan, when we're heading up towards Spean Bridge, the Commander Memorial, I always point out the Clan Cameron Museum, those at Ridston. I haven't had too many take me up on it yet, but I can tell them the story as I go past. And whenever I'm doing my tour, everyone's welcome in Latham for the day. That's what I always say.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. It's been wonderful learning more. I think for me the fact that you say that you can really tailor your trip to sort of your interests, and that the guides also, that there's their sort of personality, character, and knowledge is sort of then sort of transported into that. I think will make it a really unforgettable experience.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it.
Yeah.
You couldn't put it a bit better myself.
There we go. Fantastic. So as I say, we'll make sure, so the website, we'll make sure the address is up. So then, if anyone's planning their trip over the coming months, which hopefully they will be, that they can get in touch. Michael, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure
very much.
Getting to find out more about you and about Highland Experience.
Super. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Look forward to hearing from everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.